Hey everyone, I'm your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Sunday, December 3rd, 2017. Now, just to give you a little bit of an update, I think for this week I am only going to do the monthly horoscopes. I'm going to upload those tonight and not do the weeklies. That's because I just haven't been feeling that well the past 2 days. I had a sore throat yesterday. And because I'm pretty thorough, I like to think in my monthlies just to give you a good overview of what is going on, okay? So just to give you a little update on that. And I should have those uploaded tonight around the normal time that I upload my weeklies. All right, so that's what is going on there. As for your horoscope for today, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now today, the big thing, of course, to talk about is the full moon in Gemini, which happened at 8 a.m. here, which is what this chart is for, mountain time. Okay, with the moon here and in opposition with the sun, and that always makes, that's what a full moon is. It's when the moon opposes the sun. And what we have is we have a moon in Gemini here going on, bringing our attention to things that we're familiar with in our life in a lot of ways. A lot of thinking, a lot of mental activity could be going on at this full moon, doing the things that, you know, Gemini likes to do, is talk and think and explore ideas. And I think that's what's going on. I think as we're exploring ideas, though, there's some pressure here to make sense of what's going on in our life, where Sagittarius is, and with the sun over here, because Sagittarius likes to make sense of things and form beliefs about things. I think there could also be pressure to leave the familiar behind and to do something new and to move in that direction, okay? And I think that's where the stress of the full moon can come from here, is that we want to think and, you know, maybe be out and about and, you know, explore different ideas and options here, but there's this really strong pull for us to make sense of what is going on and to do something new that it is that we haven't done before. And I think the full moon is asking us to take care of matters that are familiar to us, take care of the things that are perhaps going on inside of us and all of our ideas and things that we've got going on, okay, so that we can start to launch out. Doing something new, committing to something new is going to be a really, really big thing this month. Of course, at the new moon and with Saturn about to leave Sagittarius. And I think right now what you need to do is you need to make sure that all your ducks are in a row, that you're comfortable with where your life is now, so that you can start to do new things and start to branch out and start to have new experiences that you have not done before in some way, okay? And then just make sure that you're taken care of, okay, so that you can begin to do some of those things. And I think that's what's happening, all right? Another part of the reason why this full moon could be stressful is because this full moon is in an exact square with Neptune, which squares both the moon and the sun. Okay, so as you're trying to take care of some things that are going on in your mind, maybe lots of mental activity, so that you can start to do something new, excuse me, and make sense of your life here, I think that there could be some confusion perhaps, and some maybe the uncomfortable feelings about what's going on inside you. Maybe feeling uncomfortable here about doing something new, confused about what new thing that it is that you need to do or trying to do in some way, and really having to see through the confusion here to get more clarity about your life, about where it's going and about what's going on. That is all coming into play here, trying to figure out how to get comfortable now with where our life is going and with what is happening, okay? And it may be a little bit uncomfortable to branch out, to do something new that we haven't done before, and to leave all of these things that we're used to and that are familiar to us behind, to do something else that we're working out. Now, the way to get clarity here when you have Neptune involved is not to automatically, like, immediately tell the confusion to stop happening. The way Neptune works is that you get clarity through, like, going deeper into the confusion, you know, allowing yourself to let things get messy and to, you know, to just let everything come up. And I think if you can let everything come up at this full moon, especially stuff that's going on inside you that may feel uncomfortable, it's then going to help you figure out what new thing you need to do, make sense of your life, and move it forward in the right direction, okay? What's also going to be favored at this full moon is especially intuition, which Neptune also rules, creativity, if you need to write it out, you know, or art, if you need to do an art project or something along those lines, like those are all good things. Meditation also with Neptune, very good today to do in order for you to break through some of this confusion, to get some of the clarity you need. Intuition also good, feeling your way through the dark here in order to make sense of some things. I think that's what we're being faced with at the full moon, trying to do something new here, but maybe being uncomfortable about it, not knowing if we're not ready to do this new thing, trying to take care of ourselves so that we can begin to move forward. Mercury also going retrograde at the same time. We've got a Gemini full moon here, really asking you to rethink some things about your life so that you can better figure out what you believe as you move forward, so that if you're going to do something new, you can make sure that you're doing this new thing in the right way, and really just having to go back to the past to retrieve some things to make sure everything you're doing, that you're doing it in the right way so that you can move forward in the best way with your eyes wide open about what's going on. Okay, so that's what's going on there. As the moon, that's going to happen at 8 a.m., which has already happened by the time I upload this video, but as the moon moves throughout the rest of the day, it's then going to come over into a sextile with the North Node right here in Leo, and a square over here with Chiron. So as we're, there it is. So as we're trying to figure out how we can take care of ourselves so that we can make sense of our life and do something new, and how we can feel comfortable doing something new in some way, we could be here getting an understanding more of what makes us happy, of what we need to do to be happy, as we're starting to explore all our options and to take care of some things close to home that are important to us. But I think the same thing that makes us happy here is uncomfortable inside for us with this trine to Chiron coming in. It's like we want one thing, our heart is telling us one thing, there's one thing in life that really excites us, that is like calling our name, that it is that we need to do, but I think doing that thing is hard. I think doing that thing is uncomfortable. I think we're uncertain about it. We don't know where it's going to go. We're confused about what it all means and why we have to do this new thing that we're really excited about in some way, or this new thing that brings up lots of passions. And I think we're having to break through some of these uncomfortable feelings, well, to sit with some of these uncomfortable feelings before we can break through, okay, as we go about doing something that it is that we really want or need to do, okay? So I think that's what's going on. I mean, this is kind of like an interesting thing where it's like the thing that we want to do and need to do and are being called towards, because wherever the North Node is, we're being called towards that thing, is the same thing that makes us uncomfortable and is uncertain, and that makes us unsure about. And I think we need to move forward towards something that we know we need to do, that is going to be better for us, that is calling our name, and trust that it will all be taken care of. And that everything else will begin to fall into place if we just allow ourselves to sit with some of these uncomfortable feelings and to see what it is that comes up. All right, so that's what's going on there. Today, just to give you a little bit about yesterday, since I know we didn't do my horoscope yesterday, wasn't too much going on. But we also had the moon yesterday here in opposition with Venus. So I think yesterday could have also been a little bit of a difficult day too, really wanting to do something new, really wanting to be adventurous and out and about and explore and play in a lot of ways here, but really needing to focus on some things that are close to home and take care of some of your own stuff, okay, and temper some of the passion a little bit to consider some of your options. I think that's what was going on yesterday in some way, and some of those options that we were thinking about here really helping us to start to make sense of our lives in some way. But then today coming into a little bit of a harder territory. Not that yesterday was like a super easy day, but then today again things getting a little bit more serious here, having to really start to make sense of your life and figure out what's going on and do some things that you know you need to do that are hard, after spending some time yesterday trying to take a step back to really think about things and to hopefully understand some things better. All right, so that's what's going on there. As for other stuff that's happening in the big picture, we still have Mercury and Saturn conjunct, even though, as you can see, Mercury is now retrograde since it's red in the chart. So still making some big decisions here, trying to make sure that the decisions that you have made, if you have made any recently, or if anything has happened to you, that's being done right and in the best way possible. So I think that's a big thing that's coming up here. Mars coming off the opposition to Uranus, so there could have been some unexpected things that have occurred earlier this past week here that's going on, that are still happening and coming up. We're having to learn how to take these unexpected things that happened, especially in regards to relationships and with other people, and to make decisions about those. Maybe that's what all those decisions have a lot to do with here, that we're making some of these commitments that we're making, some of the things that we're weighing out in our minds to understand better what we need to do. Maybe they have a lot to do with some unexpected things that came up earlier in the week in regards to relationships, or some insights that you received about your relationships in some way. People maybe being the catalyst for you to do some decisions and to make some decisions and to figure some things out, or having to work some things out with your relationships coming in. So there could be a lot of that going on there. Jupiter also in a trine to Neptune here, needing to make some changes, and whatever changes you make in life are going to help you feel much more comfortable about where your life is going, because of some squares that we've got to Neptune and to Chiron, you know, from Sagittarius and from the moon today. I think we could be a little bit uncomfortable here about some new thing that we're doing and not feeling quite right about life. But if you have faith as you're moving forward, that things will fall into place, and if you make changes that you need to make, even if the changes are hard, I think it's all going to help you eventually see what it was all meant for at a later time. Okay, maybe right now we're not going to understand why things are happening in the way that they're happening, but I think if you just keep moving forward and trying to do the best that you can and make the decision in the best way that you can, having faith that what you're doing is right and trying your best to get all the information, get all the answers, get everything you need, I think you're going to be fine. I really do think you're going to be fine. Okay. And I think Mercury going retrograde as well is going to help to bring some answers and bring some stuff out of the dark that you didn't see coming, to bring things to light, to help you understand things, especially with Mercury going back into a square with Neptune and some other planets coming to Neptune. I think there's going to be more information that's coming to light that you didn't know before, that's hopefully going to help you make some of the decisions that you need to make, even if you're not entirely sure about them right now and are uncomfortable and are confused about some decisions that it is that you need to make. All right. So that's what I have for you. Your card for the day is the 10 of Swords upright. I mean, this is a great card for a full moon. This is a card of endings. You know, one way of living, one way of thinking, especially with the Swords, is over. It's done. Put a fork in it. It's done, you know? And I think you need to stop holding on to the way your old life used to be, whatever it is that you used to have, and to move forward, even if it doesn't feel the best, even if it doesn't feel the most comfortable in some way, we still needing to move in that direction. Okay. And I think this is a big thing. I mean, this full moon literally is like the end. I know I've been saying that for a while, but this full moon is the end of Saturn and Sagittarius, because the next time the moon is going to be a new moon, it's going to be here right near Saturn, and then after that Saturn's going to leave, and Saturn's been in Sagittarius for this whole time, and so this is really the end. This full moon is the end of life as you know it. It's the end of a life that you thought you had, that you thought was familiar to you, that you were comfortable in, you know, because Gemini likes to do things in their community. Gemini likes to do things that they're comfortable with. They don't like to be out of their comfort zone too much in some way, you know, or they like to, or if anything is out of their comfort zone, they like to make it familiar immediately so that they feel more comfortable with it. And I think that's what's happening, is you're having to let go at this full moon of the life as you once knew it, of a life you thought, whether or not you wanted that life, whether or not that life was good for you, you're having to let it go, and you're having to move on to something new. And I think that's what we're trying to come to terms with right now, is like, I kind of like this life, or this life was like kind of comfortable for me, and now I have to do what? What? Why? And like, how is all of this going to fall into place? And I think we're just trying to get used to that. And I think what we need to do at this full moon sorry if I keep repeating myself, is to accept that one part of your life is over, and that you're moving into doing something new and something different, and that you really need to commit to it and to go in that direction to do it, and trust that it will be okay. All right, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.